Today we're going to be doing was and were. So what's was and were? You see them all the time, but when do you use them? And today I'm going to show you when. Was and were are very much like am, is, and are, but they're for the past tense, so when we are talking about yesterday. So I'm going to show you when we use them and how to make them positive or negative, and that means with yes or no. Alright, so hope you enjoy the video. Let's get started.
Here we have the picture. It's late night, last night, and here's now. He was sleeping. Here we have this. He was what he's doing right now. This is what we have here. Now Robert is at work, as you can see. At midnight last night, he wasn't at work. He was in bed. He was asleep. So, this is just a little bit of an explanation as to was and were. We use was and were in this little was and were for the past tense. Not what you're doing today, not tomorrow, but we use it for yesterday. So yesterday, he was in bed. Yesterday, he was asleep. Right? Not today he was asleep. Yesterday he was asleep. Not now he was asleep. It doesn't work like that. So let's continue and let me show you how we do this. I'm going to show you the positive, negative, and question. And it's going to follow similarly to how we do present tense with how we make the negatives and the questions. Let's find out. Here we have the positive. So for I, he, she, it is was. And for we, you, and they, it is were. For a negative, we need to do it two ways. You can have he was not, or you can have, if you remember from present tense, wasn't. And for were, the negative should be not. And if you want to make it smaller, it should be, if I can write it correctly, weren't. So it sounds like for positive, I was, he was, she was, it was, z sound. And for this one, it is we were, you were, they were. For negative, we have I was not, or I wasn't, he was not, he wasn't, she was not, she wasn't, it was not, it wasn't.
For we, it is we were not, we weren't, you were not, you weren't, they were not, they weren't.
For questions, here's the next part. We have to think about the present tense here. And with the present tense, we did this thing called, as I always write, flip. Flip what you have. If you see was over here, what do you think is going to be over here for a question? I really hope you're thinking was. If you have like were over here, what do you think it's going to be over here? Were. Let's go on to the next part here where we get to do some examples and use the chart that you have that you just completed. Insert the correct form below. Here you should be using was, were, was not, were not, wasn't, and weren't.
Last year, Rachel blank 22, so she blank 23 now. Past tense I see right here last year, so it's going to be was or were. And for Rachel, is it an I, you, he, she, or it, we, or they? You should say she, so is it she was or she were? Should could say she was 22. So she, and it says now right here, so that means present tense. She is 23 now. So the next one. When I blank a child, I blank afraid of dogs.
Let's make these all both positive here. When I was or I were. Was a child. Actually, let's make this one negative. I changed my mind. Let's make this one negative. So this one's positive, this one's negative. So I was a child, and if you saw the first one, you realize that it's I was int. This part is still was because it's an I, just like this is over here. So the sentence should read, when I was a child, I wasn't afraid of dogs. Let's do the next one. We blank hungry after the trip, but we blank tired. Let's make the first one here positive and this one negative. So yes and no. First one, we was or we were. You should say we were. Hungry after the trip, but we blank tired. Now we need to make this negative. So we were again. N apostrophe T, we weren't tired. There you go. Here's the next one. The hotel blank comfortable, but it blank expensive. Hotel, is it I, you, he, she, it, we, or they? You should say it. And is it was or it were? You should say was. Comfortable, but it was expensive. And down here I have these, for this section over here, I want you to turn the sentences into questions. That's what it should read. I don't know why I wrote it like that, so I'm just going to scribble. So, the sentence reads, the weather was nice. How can we make that a question? Remember to flip. Should read, was, should be the first word. The weather. Ooh, I'm going to rewrite that because that's awful. So this question reads, was the weather nice? Take a look at the next one now. You were late this morning. Let's use I this time. So remember to flip. If we're using I this time for this, is it were or was? You should say was. So we're going to start off with was I late this morning. With my atrocious handwriting. So was I late this morning? And there you go. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video using was and were. As you can see, it's not too complicated, you just have to remember it. It's not too hard, it's not too bad. Remember, you can still make them smaller or larger with the short form and long form, and that's with an apostrophe T. So, it's nothing too crazy. I hope I didn't rattle your world. So I'll see you next time. I hope you check out my other videos. See you later.